task, putting in the valves. As you can see, I've already put in an intake and an exhaust valve. The way you can tell what is what is each one of the valves is marked. Like this one here is an intake valve, so obviously this being the exhaust ports, it goes on the intake, which will be these holes over here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of oil on the shaft of this valve and then fit it in place. So now the pieces in here. Alright, so here are our pieces, and you'll notice that this piece here is the same piece. So as you see, this piece here is much larger. This is the top piece, and this is the bottom piece that holds the spring. So what we do is we go ahead and put this bottom part in. We can fit it in with the screwdriver. Next we put the springs on, and if you notice that this spring on this end has more coils compressed than this end, this is the end that goes closest to the body of the motor, so it goes in this way. And then the smaller spring, same situation, where you have more coils at the bottom part and it goes on the bottom. So now we have these two pieces here. Okay, so everybody out there that's ever done this is saying, wait, you forgot the seals. And that's completely correct. The oil seal needs to be new. It needs to be put on before you put the springs on. So, springs come out. Oil seal with the ring goes down. Like so. And then again, springs with most coils, springs with the tightest coils. Okay, next we're ready to compress the ring, and for that a special tool, the ring compressor, does an excellent job. You really don't want to do the job without this particular tool. Okay, with the tool in place, what we've done here is we put the point, we put the point on the valve, and then we've put the top of the spring cap, and then what we've done is we positioned it, and now we are going to turn this down and compress the spring. Okay, so this is about as much as we want the spring compressed, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put these two little locks. I get that. These two little locks on the top part of the valve, and when we release the spring, these guys will lock the valve, will lock the spring in the top in place. Okay. So you can now see the little rings, locking rings in the top part. So as we release the, let's see if we can do this. We release the pressure on the spring compressor. As you can see, the locking ring is now in place. Alright, take a look at this. Okay. So the locking ring now is in place. Oh, no it's not. So we'll have to recompress that and get that other lock further down. As you can see, the ring is now in place and it has locked the valve in place. The final test is we can push on the valve itself to make sure that it goes down, and it does. That I didn't show very clearly is that the seals actually fit down on these little caps. So you push it down and it fits over. There's a little steel ring you can see that keeps the seal in place, and that has to be installed that properly. Putting in the rocker arms, as you can see, these items here are going to compress the rings when the let's see, over here, when the camshaft hits. These are number 2s, and these are slightly different. They're number 3s, so they're offset. They're being held together with this little nut, and in this case here I am sliding the bolt across. It's a simple operation. Spring goes here, the cam compressor goes here, shaft goes through. Do the same thing over here. We line the hole up with the bolt, and then the bolt secures it in place, and then when we're done we put this nut on to seal the unit. Okay, moving right along,